Okay, gonna try this one more time real quick. Had a little bit of technical difficulties, but hopefully I'll be able to edit these two videos together. Just gotta figure out how to do that. But a point I didn't make earlier with these cards is Artifact Sanctum and Artifact Ignition are kind of like the Artifact monsters themselves. If they're destroyed by your opponent's card effect, though, it doesn't matter which turn. Both of them get effects. So Ignition, if it's destroyed by your opponent's card effect, then they have to skip their next battle phase. So if they do it during their main phase 2, they still have to skip their next turn's battle phase. And then Sanctum, if it's destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you get to pop one card on the field. So this deck's all about punishing blind MSTs. So if they try to pop your Sanctum, you can chain it to summon a monster. Their MST or whatever they're using will still pop it. So you'll get Moral Tox popping, and then you'll get Sanctums popping. It's just a really good deck, and because this deck is out now, or just the engine itself, people are a lot less likely to blind MST. The rest of the traps are pretty basic, nothing really artifact focused. Breakthrough skill, I run 2 of them. I run 2 of this in just about every deck, aside from probably my Boojins. This card, it's just better, in my opinion, than Fiendish Chain, because Fiendish Chain can be MST'd, it can be Ignitioned. There's so many cards that can get around Fiendish Chain. Card D, it doesn't stop Card D, it doesn't stop Thunder King, Ryo's effect negation, or summon negation, it doesn't stop Rabbit. But Breakthrough Skill is just like Veiler. It just says no. And then on your next turn, you can still use it to get over. You can negate monsters who can't be destroyed. You can negate Thunder King Ryo to search. I just think it's probably the best effect negation this season, I guess. I can't think of the word right now. But I'm just very pro Breakthrough. And I'm still fond of Effects Veiler. But a lot of my decks I still just do Breakthrough Skill. Other than that, I run basic traps like Bottomless Trap Hole, Torrential Tribute, Solemn Warning, Monster Disruption. I run 2 wiretaps because just like I said Breakthrough is better than Fiendish Chain, I think these are better than 7 tools. I'd rather not pay 1,000 life points. Sending the card back to the deck isn't too much of a thing. Yeah, they can draw it again, and I actually had that happen to me. But it disrupts their draw. It increases the number of cards in their deck. It's just, I really enjoy Wiretap. And if you Wiretap a Solemn Warning and they end up drawing it later, they have to pay another 2,000 life points for it. The last 2 traps in the deck are Call the Haunted, because like I said, artifact monsters, their effects activate whenever they're special summoned during your opponent's turn. If they don't have to be destroyed, that's just one of the ways they can be special summoned. But you can use Sanctum or Call the Haunted to summon your monsters at any point. So if you have a Moral Talk in the grave, again, you can just set that Call the Haunted, wait for them to try and do a play, like say they summon Mewfiel, Madolche Mewfiel or something, then they summon Hoot Cake off of that, flip Call, bring back Moral Talk, pop the Hoot Cake, or just any other problem cards like that you might have to deal with. The deck just does really well control, and that's the kind of decks I prefer personally. That's all for the main deck. Like I said, I've got 16 monsters, 12 spells, 12 traps. I'm going to be trying a different variant next weekend, probably the one with hands. Maybe I'll even try the ones with artifact, with the trap tricks in them too. I don't know, I'll wait and see what I think. As for the extra deck, I run 1 Gaia Dragon. I'm going to try and get a second one, because just about every rank this deck makes is a 5. Because I don't run hands, I don't run anything like that. All I'm going to really summon are rank 5s. And Gaia Charger is just a good card. Say you summon your Durendal or you summon Pleiades, use its effect. Summon Zenmayo, use its effect. And then you can overlay Dragon Thunder Charger for a 2600 piercing. And that can deal a lot of damage if your opponent's not ready for it. I run 1 M7. I have yet to actually summon it. Most of the time I'm just going to use Gaia Dragon. But I do use Pleiades in this deck, so M7's an option. I run 2 Durendals. This is the Theme Exceed boss. I love this card. It's just one of my best plays to do, especially since I use Star Drawing. And Star Drawing's not light, so I can't go Pleiades. But he's got 2 effects, once per turn during either player's turn. So it's a quick effect, but you can only use one of the effects per turn. You can either have both players shuffle their hands back into their deck, and then draw that many cards. So say your opponent searches a lot, let them set up their hand the way they want it, then you can send it all back and give them a random hand. Also, it specifically states that it only happens to players who have a hand. So if your opponent doesn't have a hand, you can still use the card, you can still use the effect to just shuffle and reload your hand. It's basically a reload spell card with a muscle. And then the other effect is whenever your opponent activates on your opponent's side of the field, whenever a normal spell, a normal trap, or a effect monster effect is activated, you can detach a material and change that monster's effect to destroy one set card your opponent controls. Unfortunately, they get to choose, but all the same, it's just really good to make them have to pop your set Sanctum or your set Ignition and then chain it and get a plus. And frankly, you just stop any play. You can stop most plays they're going to do, aside from counter traps, continuouses, fields, all that stuff. But it's still a really good defense against stuff like Torrential, Mirror Force. Heck, I did it against a reinforcement of the army. It's probably one of my favorite effects from the monsters and the extra deck. But other than that, I run 2 Pleiades. He's pretty basic. If they're all light level 5s, so they fit really well in the deck. In case you're not familiar, once per turn during either player's turn, so it's a quick effect. You can chain it to cards. You can bounce a card on the field to the owner's hand. So you can bounce your opponent's cards. If you have a Dead Call the Haunted, you can bounce that. It's just really good, rank 5. I run 2 Tiras. As long as it has materials, it can't be destroyed by card effects. And if it attacks or is attacked at the end of the battle phase, you can pop 1 card your opponent controls. It's really good. I run 2 of that. Since I don't rank 4 in this deck, I don't have, all I can do is rank 5. So I have a lot of extras of my 5s, just because it's all I can do. I run 1 Volcasaurus. I didn't summon it any this weekend, but it's just a really good burner, and you can always overlay Gaia Charger over it. I run 1 Zenmayo. This guy is so much better than I expected him to be. I absolutely love Zenmayo. You don't pop your own cards with it, because you have to do it on your turn. But, say against Girjas, it's really good. I played a Ghost Trick Spirit deck. It was really good against that deck. I popped 2 of his back row, then he set a Spectre off of the Ghost Tricks being destroyed. So I overlaid a Gaia Charger to deal 2600 piercing. It's just, I love Zenmayo. It's one of my favorite Exceeds in this deck. Then I run 2 Adreases, just really to have options. I didn't summon them any. My last 3 cards are really just kind of filler because I didn't have anything else to put in. I've got a 101 and a Cowboy. On the off chance somehow I ended up having rank 4 option, it's possible. I run Star Drawings and Thunder King Ryos, but I never did summon them. And then, like I said, I side Effect Veilers, so I put this in there on the off chance I felt I needed a level 6 Synchro. But that's the extra deck, and that's the main deck. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you have any questions about the deck, because the rulings are pretty weird about the deck, and it's a new deck too. So, if any questions, anything you might want to know, like if you want to side, what you want to side against the deck, I'll be happy to tell you that. It's going to be a really popular deck, mostly the hand artifact build with trap tricks, and I'm really loving this deck. This is easily my favorite deck right now. But aside from Team Rynoke, as usual, like, subscribe, comment in the comments, talk to us, let us know what you guys think about the deck. If you have any tips or questions, feel free to ask, and catch you next time.